What does it mean to leave a legacy behind? Is it the behavior or the objects that will be remembered in the future? Today, many people are not familiar with the world's history, and it is the objects produced at the events that remind us about the past. The books, pictures, and buildings are kept in order to provide a piece of history to people. Similarly, the tomb of the Egyptian king Tutankhamun was kept in the Cairo's Egyptian Museum to remind everyone about Egypt's past. The picture of King Tutankhamun's funerary mask, taken by the King of Garud, was captured to reveal two main parts: people and the mask. The focus of the picture is the king's mask that is presented as a display to the public. Everything around the display is blurry, and the viewer can tell that there is a movement around it. A viewer cannot identify the body parts of each individual. However, we can clearly see the mask. The mask symbolizes the legacy left from Egyptian King Tutankhamun, and the movement symbolizes a progressing human life. People get older each day, and only the legacy will stay always unchanged. In King Tutankhamun's funerary mask, a photographer captured many people. A viewer can tell that it is one of the busiest nights at the museum. In addition, a photographer captured people's movement. Half of a picture is blurry, and this disables us to tell the features of each individual, such as sex or nationality. However, a viewer can observe that people in the museum are in different age groups. We can identify people's age by looking at their hair color. There are some brunettes, blondes, or gray color hair. For example, one person in the front has white hair, which means that he is from an older generation. We could approximate the age without looking at each individual's facial feature. In the picture, the movement symbolizes the aging process or passing time. In addition, when we look at the faces, we cannot identify the race or ethnicity of each individual. This suggests that the aging process is universal. People cannot control the time. Each day, people get older and learn new information at the places they visit. Similarly, in this picture, when people come to the museum, they learn something new about Egypt's history. The time is passing by, and sometimes we do not realize it or do not remember the events that occurred in the past. People in the picture are moving at a high speed, and we cannot tell the details of their bodies. Each individual detail symbolizes the events in their past. We cannot identify them in the picture, and unfortunately, the same happens with the human memory. The time is moving, and we are aging along with it. The anomaly in this picture is a mask of Tutankhamun. It is located on the right side of a picture and not in the center. Because of that, a mask doesn't cover the background, and the viewer can analyze the objects in the back. A mask is the only object in the picture that is still and zoomed in, therefore we can see all the details on it. The mask is covered in gold and gemstones that are put together to show King's face. It is shiny and polished under the museum's glass. The Egyptian people were willing to spend money to put together the mask in 1333 BC. This tells us that he was famous, and people wanted to create something to his honor that would help them to remember the king. The mask is a legacy of King Tutankhamun. It was made after him, and when it was found in the 20th century, it was kept in the museum. This anomaly is the history that was left after the king, and it still reminds people of the past. The mask did not change throughout all these years. There are no cracks or damages in the exhibit. People took care of it, and they cared about it. It is hard to change someone's legacy, therefore, individual's past and legacy is unchangeable. Tutankhamun left his face of gold, and this is why he was remembered for all of these years. This picture supports this interpretation because the only object with the details is the mask of the Egyptian king. It will stay with the Egyptians as long as they will value it in the future. In this case, Tutankhamun's mask will stay unchanged, and so will his legacy. Legacy and time are the opposites of each other. Anyone can leave a legacy behind at some point in their life, and eventually peers, family, or the whole world will value it in the future. We cannot change the past, therefore we cannot change someone's legacy. The legacy will remain as individuals remembers. We control our actions, and only we can leave something behind in our life. King Tutankhamun left his mask as a legacy of his reign, and people are still fascinated by him at the museums. On the other side, time and age cannot be controlled. People's age cannot be controlled because it depends on time. We get older no matter where we are from, it is in human nature. In the picture, movement is an aging process because people do not stop or do not stay still. They keep moving like they age. The two symbols in this picture have different meanings and ideas. In the future, King's mask will remain the same as long as it will stay in the museum. However, people will get older every day and unfortunately their life will end. People should start spending their time more wisely and work on something they will be remembered for in the future. They should stop fighting the aging process and begin to live their life with the fullest joy.